I was over the moon, having just married the love of my life. But one day, a package arrived for my mother-in-law. Excitedly, I opened it, only to find a surprise of another kind. It sent my relationship with my husband spiraling into a nightmare. But I'll be damned if I let her win. I refuse to let things go her way. My name is Jessica. I married my husband David just 6 months ago. We're still newlyweds, planning to make many happy memories together. But then something unimaginable happened. It started a month after our wedding. I was cleaning the house, now a full-time homemaker, when the doorbell rang. A package for me. The sender, my mother-in-law. A package from my mother-in-law? I wonder what it is, I thought. I had received no notice of a package being sent, and David hadn't mentioned anything either. Curious, I opened the box. Inside, I found clothes, not exactly fashionable and very well worn. What? What are these? Old clothes. I was flabbergasted by the array of second-hand clothes, some even with holes in them. There were clothes that must have been fashionable once but now were just garish. Just then, the phone rang. It was my mother-in-law. "Oh, Jessica dear, did you get my gift?" No. What part of that is a gift? They're clearly old clothes, and they're hideous. How can anyone possibly see that as a gift? As I stood bewildered by this unexpected situation, my mother-in-law started explaining casually. "You see, those clothes are ones I used to wear a long time ago. I found them when I was tidying up my closet." But mother-in-law, some of them have holes in them." "Don't worry, dear. I included some new ones I bought recently. Please try them on." Despite my confusion, my mother-in-law chattered away cheerfully. Was this harassment or was it really just kindness? Honestly, I couldn't figure out my mother-in-law's true intentions. My husband David came home from work and immediately noticed the mountain of old clothes. "Did Mom just give you a gift? That's nice." It was more like she had given them away rather than given them. Even so, if it was really out of kindness from my mother-in-law, I didn't want to seem ungrateful, so I did mention the holes or the poor taste to David. A month later, another package arrived from my mother-in-law. As expected, it was filled entirely with second-hand clothes in an amount incomparable to the last time. Plus, the designs were even worse than before. Who would wear these? I felt bad for my mother-in-law, but this was nothing short of an unwelcome favor. They were just crowding my closet. I should give them away or sell them at a flea market. As I was thinking this, the phone rang again. It was my mother-in-law. "Oh, Jessica, did the clothes arrive?" I gathered some really special pieces this time. My mother-in-law seemed overly cheerful. Even so, it would be problematic if she kept sending them regularly. "They're old and not to my taste. Mother-in-law, I appreciate your sentiment, but I don't usually wear such flashy clothes." When I indirectly refused, she suddenly got angry. Maybe my words had rubbed her the wrong way. "Excuse me, Jessica. What kind of things are you saying about the clothes I went out of my way to send?" The correct response is thank you. No, I appreciate the thought, but just wear them, Jessica. Sending you all those clothes will surely save you some money, won't it? The next time you come over, make sure you're wearing the stuff I've given you, okay? My mother-in-law gave me a one-sided command and then hung up the phone. I sighed. I made her angry. What was more, I never knew that she was the type of person to force her opinions on others so vehemently. That night, I decided to gather up my courage and talk to my husband about it. "David, do you have a minute?" "Wait, you got more presents from my mom." "Well, that's what I wanted to talk about." David was still under the impression that I was being sent presents I would enjoy. When I explained the situation, his eyes widened. "Second-hand clothes." "Yes, second-hand clothes, and they're not my style at all. I can't possibly wear the clothes your mom sent." I tried to gently refuse over the phone, and she got really upset. "Can you talk to her?" David stayed silent for a while. I was troubled because of the stuff his mom had sent. Surely he'd come up with a good solution to smooth things over between me and his mother. "I'll call Mom." David walked out onto the balcony and took out his smartphone. I hoped he would be able to resolve this situation over the phone with his mom. But when he came back from his call, he said something outrageous. "Mom told me she was just trying to do something nice by sending you clothes. You make it sound like it's a nuisance. You should be more grateful." I was baffled at David's words. "Hold on a minute. I told you, right? I can't wear those clothes. They're not my style at all. Mom said it's clothes she used to wear. Are you making fun of my mom's taste? That's not what I meant. Besides, some of the clothes even have holes in them. Are you saying I should wear those? Enough. Mom started crying when I told her you didn't like the clothes. Please don't upset her anymore. After yelling at me, David stormed off into his own room, slamming the door behind him. Wait, what? Is this my fault? I never thought David would take his mom's side. Even if he didn't exactly take my side, he could at least try to understand my feelings. I felt as if I had been betrayed by my husband. Ultimately, another package from my mother-in-law arrived the following month. When I visited my in-laws' home, and it was discovered that I wasn't wearing the clothes she had sent, she exploded. I went to all this trouble to send them to you. Why aren't you wearing them? Yeah, Mom went out of her way to send them to you. David joined her side against me. No one really cares or notices what you're wearing. More importantly, it's absolutely the worst that you're wasting Mom's kindness like this. It seemed David was completely on his mother's side. Do you even understand how I feel being given tasteless old clothes, some even with holes that are out of style? I felt everything was becoming absurd. All my effort not to spoil my relationship with my mother-in-law and all my explanations to my husband seemed to be in vain. Ignoring my feelings, David started treating me more like a housemaid than ever before. What is this food? Are you skimping on it? You're lacking awareness as a wife. You're a full-time housewife, so you should do better. There are wrinkles in the laundry. My mother wouldn't make a mistake like this. Do it perfectly. Is he her mini-me? I thought. He was becoming incredibly picky. When I bought new clothes, he yelled, "Even though you wasted Mom's kindness, you're buying new clothes." I didn't know if I could continue this married life any longer. I was pushed to the point where I started to think like that. Then, one day, David's company's trip was confirmed. Make sure you prepare for my company trip starting tomorrow. I was naturally frustrated, being treated almost like a housemaid recently. However, upon thinking, this might be a chance for revenge. My mother-in-law was still sending me tasteless, worn-out clothes, from men's to children's items, even things that I had no idea what they were. Recently, she even started sending me clothes so dirty I wondered where she picked them up. I dug out the men's clothes from there and stuffed them into David's travel bag. This should do. David's company trip was for 2 nights and 3 days. During this time, I stuffed all the rags that had been sent from my mother-in-law into his suitcase. The next day, as soon as David left for his trip, I began packing my things. When I left the house, I put divorce papers on the table that had already been filled out. At that same time, David, who was on his company trip, was being laughed at by his colleagues. Hey, what's with those raggedy clothes, man? Did you pick them up from somewhere? Had a fight with your wife, didn't you? Serves him right. I could picture David panicking. That night, as expected, David called me. Hey, what's with the contents of the suitcase? He was clearly furious, even over the phone. I held back laughter as I asked. Something wrong with your suitcase? What do you mean, something wrong? What's with these raggedy clothes? You got something wrong in your head, making your husband wear such things. You think I'm crazy? I said calmly. David, remember what you said, right? Those clothes were sent out of goodwill by your mom. Wasting such goodwill would be pretty strange for a son, wouldn't it? Apparently, David hadn't realized the clothes I packed were from his mother. At my revelation, he choked on his words. Hey, you listening? Those clothes were sent by your mom. Since you were all for blaming me alongside her, you'll be wearing them without complaint, right? Well, that's... David was utterly flustered. I told him outright, you understand now, right? Did you finally get a feel for what I was going through? I left the divorce papers at home. Divorce. I'll leave the rest to you. And with that, I hung up, leaving things unsaid. David bombarded me with calls and emails, all of which I ignored. Afterwards, I returned to my parents' house. A few days later, my mother-in-law called me. You listen here, you can't get divorced without my approval. If you don't listen, I'll hire a lawyer and sue you for emotional distress. I responded, feel free to do so. A week later, my mother-in-law told me to come to a meeting with a lawyer. I headed to the specified coffee shop. There, my mother-in-law, husband, and someone who seemed to be a lawyer were waiting. What's this? I've already decided on the divorce, so there's nothing to talk about now. With a look like she was about to bite me, my mother-in-law yelled, don't mess around. After all we've done for you, we won't allow a selfish divorce. Exactly. My husband chimed in with her. I've been made a laughingstock at work because of the clothes you made me wear. Now everyone at work is laughing at me. A laughingstock? Isn't that directly mocking his own mother's taste in clothes? I thought. As I laughed in front of him, my mother-in-law glared with her eyes wide open. What's so funny? You're such a cheeky wife. She then turned to the lawyer. Hey, Mr. Lawyer, she can't possibly request a divorce from her position, can she? I was told that the wife was the one causing the trouble. The lawyer questioned, looking puzzled. To this I clearly stated, no, it's the other way around. I'm the one who's been harassed by my mother-in-law and husband, being sent clothes like garbage every single month. Upon hearing this, the lawyer seemed perplexed. This is completely different from what I was told. My mother-in-law also seemed flustered. Impatient with their reactions, my husband abruptly stood up. That's it. I'm divorcing a useless wife like you. I'm going to demand full emotional distress compensation, he yelled at me. At the sound of his voice, all the customers turned and looked at us. Taking advantage of this, I asked, so does this mean I have to pay emotional distress compensation? Wait, who exactly are you talking to? The person behind me. Huh. David and my mother-in-law were puzzled. I kindly clarified. Just then, a figure from the back of the room appeared before us. David and my mother-in-law were taken aback, their mouths agape with surprise. It's been a while, Mom. David. The person who appeared was David's brother Sam. Sam, why are you here? Why am I here? Well, to defend Jessica, of course. Sam, David's older brother, is a renowned attorney specializing in divorce. Initially, my mother-in-law saw his counsel, but when it became apparent that I was the one wronged, he chose to defend me. Wait a minute, Sam. Why? I asked you to defend me, and you declined. Of course I did, Sam raised his voice, because it's clear to me that Jessica isn't at fault. Having heard her side of the story, I learned that you've been using the money I've been sending home every month under the pretense of hard times to torment Jessica, haven't you? That is. Indeed, my mother-in-law had been receiving money from Sam every month. Surely some of it was used for living expenses, but she was using the excess to buy shoddy clothes to send to me, all for the purpose of tormenting me. Sam, in a short time, had researched these facts and saved the evidence. And you, David, the verbal abuse you hurled at Jessica earlier, it's all been recorded. Sam pulled out a voice recorder and played back the harsh words David had shouted earlier. Of course, this too will serve as substantial evidence in the divorce proceedings. Hey Sam, you're kidding, right? Why would you side with Jessica instead of your own family? In response to David's outbursts, Sam answered firmly, I'm a lawyer. No matter how you look at it, the fault lies with you too. Your lawyer also seems to see that there's no hope of winning. Maybe he should decline to represent you. At Sam's words, David's lawyer nodded in agreement and quietly left the cafe. So, you two will be the ones paying the alimony. And Mom, I won't be sending any more money. Understand? Leaving these words behind, Sam left the cafe with me. Thank you, Sam, for helping me, even though you're busy. As I bowed my head, Sam gave me a warm smile. No worries. I just can't stand injustice, family or not. I'm really grateful for your help this time. Thank you so much. And so, thanks to Sam, I was able to divorce peacefully. Of course, I received substantial alimony from my mother-in-law and David. After the divorce, I haven't heard from my mother-in-law or David and have been living a peaceful life. Even though I had to part with Sam, who was so kind to me, because I divorced David, I felt a bit sad. But I need to move on quickly and live my own life, the best life that David and my mother-in-law could ever envy. With that promise in my heart, I started my new life.